Ladies and gentlemen, we're here at B. Rouge Stadium. Penn State just beat Nevada 46-11. Was the game close? No, not necessarily, but there are a few key takeaways we can look, both on the offense and the defensive side of the ball. First of all, on the offensive side, Penn State did a really good job utilizing their three new wide receivers, not necessarily using all three, but getting them impact in the game. Devontae Ross, he's been a little banged up lately, so Penn State had to kind of work through that. But Kyron Hudson, Trevor Pena stepped up big time for Penn State today. James Franklin even said Trevor Pena was a pleasant surprise, as they didn't think he was capable of doing this, but just doing it so early. If you don't know, Trevor Pena came late into Penn State. He didn't come that spring semester. He came right after the spring semester ended, so he hasn't had as much time to get used to this Andy Kotelnicki offense and building chemistry with Drew Aller and the rest of the players on the team. Kyron Hudson, he's known as your sure hands guy, contested catch player, and he delivered today. There was one pass that Aller threw behind him that he didn't catch that Franklin said he would like to see him catch it, but they got to work some things through there. But he was very impressive today. Penn State was pleased with what he had to offer, and hopefully they can continue to build on that week in and week out. As I mentioned, Devontae Ross also transferred in out of Troy. He's a little banged up. He did have a catch today, but as they continue to move forward, the Nittany Lions, his workload should increase, and hopefully each of the three wide receivers can build off each other and pick each other up when one is having an off game. Drew Aller said post-game too that this offense is so complementary of each other. Last year you look and it was Nick Singleton and Katron Allen, and then occasionally throw the ball to like Tyler Warren. That was pretty much the bread and butter of what the Nittany Lions ran last year offensively. And now you got three new wide receivers and Nick and Katron. And Nick and Katron did not have a lot of rushes today, not many carries. I think it was 16 across the two of them. And they didn't do a whole lot, not explosive plays. James Franklin said he wants Penn State to have more explosive plays, but that'll come. Sure, it's Nevada. You expect to do a lot of things, but you can't do everything. And this game isn't about establishing the run game. Penn State knows what they have in the run game. So this game was utilized to get that pass game going, allow Drew Aller to get in-game experience with his new wide receivers and build depth at other positions across the field. Now, are we worried about the running backs? No, I don't think so, because we know what they can do. This is their fourth season, both Nick and Katron, and they're going to continue to get better each week. Stan Drayton said at Media Day, or earlier in the season here, that Nick Singleton and Katron Allen just kind of ran based off instinct. They weren't seeing the holes. And so now that they're going to learn and be seeing the holes that the defense is giving them, they're going to be able to utilize that and get better each week. The offensive line Penn State has also is going to make that significantly easier for them. Penn State has 7 offensive linemen that they trust each game to come out. They even had 7 offensive linemen on the field at one time on a couple drives, a couple plays there. And so Penn State trusts their offensive linemen. They're going to open up the holes. Anthony Donko, Nolan Rucci have yet to play together until today simultaneously, because last year it was Donko starting, and then when he went down with injury, then Rucci filled in. So the fact that they're both on the field at the same time, plus the rest of the offensive line, they're going to be good. But it's also a matter of just building that chemistry too, because offensive lineman is one of the most skilled positions, they say, on football, because it's not just about being athletic. You also need to be skilled because you have big defensive linemen coming at you at the same time. On the defensive side of the ball, though, Penn State, 3 turnovers. Zane Durant, defensive tackle, had an interception today. Denied Dennis Sutton, defensive end, had 2 forced fumbles today. Penn State is looking good as overall defensively. Defensive end sure can use some depth with Zariah Fisher being out. We don't know how long, but he was out today. And Jalen Harvey started on the opposite side of denied Dennis Sutton. Penn State will continue to build that depth. It's a very young room. The denied Dennis Sutton's a 4th-year guy. Zariah Fisher's been here a while. And the rest of the guys, they're all second-year players or true freshmen. So Penn State has a lot of work to do with them, but they're going to get better as the game goes on. What I was most impressed with was actually the Penn State secondary. The linebackers, sure, they were good. Dominic DeLuca, Tony Rojas, Amari Campbell. But it was just kind of the 3 of them. There's not a lot of depth there. But you look at the secondary, the cornerbacks, the safeties, Penn State was rotating a lot of guys. Sure, you know A.J. Harris, Elliott Washington, Zachy Wheatley, A.J. Belgrave Shorter, but also Darius Dixon, true freshman, who we've heard a lot about. He played a lot of minutes today, got quite a bit of snaps from what I saw. And then other guys that jumped in different times, Jameer Joseph, Colin Dinkins had a big play too. There's a lot of depth here. Even King Mack, who had a big kick return for Penn State, which is going to be big. There's a lot of depth on the Penn State secondary, and that's going to come big for Penn State when they're playing against teams that are going to try to throw the ball deep and trying to have a shootout with you. So Penn State is looking good defensively, and Jim Knowles' defense, first game, 3 turnovers, held the opponent to 11 points, and 1 was a late touchdown. They're going to be good. The players have fun playing it. You can see it on the field. They've told us they enjoy it, and they're going to continue to get better each week and get more comfortable with it. So the other thing, special teams. Ryan Barker was 4 for 4 from field goals. That is huge. Building confidence, building consistency early in the season so that when or if that comes and you need a big field goal late in a game to win a game, maybe even the playoffs, maybe the championship game for whatever reason, having that trust in your kicker is going to be big. And then on the other side, King Mack had a huge kick return. Penn State is going to need to lean on guys like that because Penn State hasn't been great in the kickoff returns and the punt returns since Daquan Hardy had a couple touchdowns a few years or 2 years ago. So the fact that King Mack showed some flashes of that today, hopefully he can build off that, or maybe somebody else, could be huge for Penn State coming down the road. Whatever Penn State can do to get their team in the best offensive position to score and then capitalize in the red zone is going to be big for them. Sure, the red zone struggled a little bit today, but they did kick their field goals. Like I said, that consistency and building that trust in your kicker is going to go a long way. So, does Penn State have it all figured out? It's too early to tell. But this team is showing flashes, and they're learning, and they're growing each day, which sounds cliche, but you can see the signs. You can see where they're making adjustments in-game, and at practices, they're going to continue to add on to those adjustments. And going forward, they have 2 more games against Florida International and Villanova that will be great, like scrimmage testing games that are kind of like a glorified practice in a way, to the sense of Penn State can utilize that to build depth and build chemistry at all different positions. And then after that, Penn State will play the whiteout game, and then from then on, it's a lot of Big Ten competition. So Penn State's got a lot of things going in the right direction right now. They just need to keep building, and they can go in that direction of becoming an elite team. So thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned for more Penn State football and Penn State athletic updates.